Hello, our topic is Scorpio and issues that come up in relationships with Scorpio, and we are going to learn concrete, specific things that we can do to improve our relationships with people that have strong Scorpio in their charts. And the relationships that we're focusing on here are close relationships, such as close friends or romantic and marriage partners, because the power of the zodiac signs really gets felt in a close relationship. Because the zodiac signs show things that are important to us, an attitude, a preference, a way of seeing the world. And this perspective that the zodiac sign has becomes very clear and has a big effect, especially when we are close to the person. So strong Scorpio means your rising sign is Scorpio, your sun sign or your moon sign is Scorpio, and also the sign of Venus, because Venus has a big impact on relationships, and we're focusing on relationships. And I am using the tropical zodiac. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to describe a few common ideas about Scorpio. Then I'm going to explain how we understand Scorpio in vibrational astrology, and then what this tells us about how to have a successful relationship with Scorpio, and things that we do that make the relationship worse and things that we do that make it better. Well, some common ideas of Scorpio is that Scorpio is secretive, intense, magnetic, charismatic. It's very deep and mysterious. It's sexy. It's emotionally complex. That themes of death and rebirth are strong in the person's life, and there's a proneness to jealousy and to be vengeful. Now, is all of this true? All of this is often true, but not always true. So the idea of vibrational astrology is there's something about Scorpio that is always true. And what it is that's always true about Scorpio is not a personality characteristic. It's a perspective. It's an attitude. It's a need. It's a motivation. And this need and motivation of Scorpio is to merge, to bond completely with its experience. So it's a process. The signs are not about like a cartoon character that we describe. It's about a way of living. And the way of living of Scorpio is to immerse yourself in your experience. That's what's always true about Scorpio. Scorpio always completely immerses themselves in their activities. So Scorpio seeks out experiences where the person is fully immersed in what they are doing. For example, suppose you're skiing and you're skiing down a mountain. Or suppose you're a heart surgeon and you're performing an operation. In both of these cases, can your mind be drifting all over the place? Let's hope not, because otherwise you're skiing down the mountain, you could bang into a tree. If you're performing an operation, you need your attention to be fully there. Your heart, your mind, your instincts. Scorpio has these fantastic instincts because you're intuitively one with what's going on. So Scorpio experience involves your mind, your feelings, your instincts, and becoming completely attuned to what you are doing. Now you can see how these personality characteristics of charisma, intensity, depth often happen. But remember, those personality characteristics are only typical symptoms of a process. What Scorpio always does is become fully immersed in what they're doing. Better yet, I should say that's what Scorpio always seeks to do. When a zodiac sign does not achieve its goal, when it's not doing what it's made to do, the person is unhappy, is unfulfilled, they may be bored, they may be apathetic, they may be frustrated. This is the Scorpio force that's trying to come through the person. And it can be something very simple. It's not always big and magnetic and charismatic and grandiose like a heart surgeon. How about somebody doing a craft? Making toys or something. Or pottery. When you're involved in that workshop, making those pots, the person can become so immersed in what they're doing that you go in the workshop and you say, "Hey, Sally! Sally!" Sally's just doing her pottery thing. So it takes a while to get the person's attention. That's the Scorpio experience. We all know it. We all have those times when we're deeply immersed because we all have Scorpio or something else in our chart that inclines to this. But for someone with a lot of Scorpio, this is something they need to do regularly. It needs to be a regular part of their life. Not every moment of the day, but a regular part of their life to just get deeply absorbed. It's that simple. It's not some mysterious, strange, abstract thing. They just need to get deeply absorbed in something. That's all it is. What's behind every zodiac sign is actually something so simple that it gets overlooked. And then all of these characteristics come out of that. The depth of Scorpio, the mystery of Scorpio, because they're so deeply involved. And what does Scorpio do in relationships? The person who has Scorpio rising or Sun, Moon, or Venus in Scorpio, what do they do in their relationships? They do the same thing in their relationships they do in everything else. They put their whole heart and mind into it, or they keep you at a distance. Scorpio is inclined to this all or nothing approach to relationships. They go in deep, they fuse, they become one with you, or they keep you at a distance. This total immersion that Scorpio likes to do, that's its intensity. That's what's going on. So, jealousy. If you're totally merged with someone, become one with them, are you going to tend to be jealous? Of course. Because if that person leaves you or puts their attention on someone else, it's like a part of yourself has left you. So that's where the jealousy comes from. Secretiveness. The reason why Scorpio is secret is because they don't want to open up. They're vulnerable. Scorpio is very strong and intense, but it's also very vulnerable. It's easily hurt. Very easily hurt. Because if you're not bonded, if you're not attached, if you're so detached and distant from everything, nothing can hurt you that much. But when you're one with something, and that oneness is broken, you become broken. You know, Scorpio can become so intensely bonded. They'll bond to their pets. You'll find a lot of Scorpios have, a cat or a dog. When the dog dies, oh my God, their bonding, their oneness is very, very strong. Very strong. So Scorpio does not bond easily. It's better for Scorpio to wait, to make sure there's mutual understanding and trust before they give their hearts, before they become so immersed with the other person's life and experiences. Because it's the way Scorpio is. It just immersion, total immersion. That's Scorpio. That's the Scorpio way. And all these other things are simply symptoms of the Scorpio immersion. How did we come up with these ideas? We did the extreme case sampling studies, no cherry picking, data-driven insights. This is what every single person has in common. Then we apply this idea in our consultations, and you're able to consult the person, come up with ideas and insights much faster, much more direct, and much more useful to the client. So, recommendation, when you bond with Scorpio, it's likely to be a lifelong commitment. A commitment to trust one another. You might be getting into something a little deeper than you expected. You are becoming one with someone. You become such a strong part of the Scorpio person's life that any disruption to the relationship can be devastating to that person. Once that person feels like they trust you and they've allowed you into their lives, you are a part of their life. You are an independent person. You have your own thoughts and feelings, but you are forever bound in the eyes of Scorpio. And they will never forget you, and they will always be there for you as long as you have not betrayed their trust. So Scorpio is immersion. Scorpio gives the gift of losing ourselves in our experience. It gives athletic ability, it gives concentration and focus, it does make for great surgeons. It gives a lot of gifts. It also gives vulnerability. It also gives the potential for great pain and suffering from the bond being destroyed. And you know what Scorpio has to do with death? I've interviewed many people, counseled many people with strong Scorpio, and it wasn't so much that they had more deaths in their lives, but the impact of the death is stronger. The death of a parent, of a brother or a sister, it's huge for anybody. But for Scorpio, it's life defining. It becomes a fundamental foundation for how they approach things. It just cuts deeper with Scorpio. So, if the rising sign is Scorpio, remember that people are sensitive about their rising signs. It's something that's important to the person. Rising sign is not a mask, as some astrologers suggest. It's a vitally important, fresh force for the person in this lifetime. And they're very sensitive about it. If something goes wrong, they're more easily thrown off balance by it. So Scorpio rising, that need to form an intense bonding with things, to get totally immersed, is very important to the person, and it's a little trickier for them to achieve. As opposed to the sun sign, which is a more natural built-in capability. It's not as socially sensitive and vulnerable as the rising sign. And the moon sign is an automatic built-in instinctive way of responding. So sun sign is more likely to engage in activities, to be the person skiing down the mountain, or to be the person who's doing surgery, or some kind of other activity that's fully immersive. Moon sign is a mood, an atmosphere. It's a lifestyle that the person is comfortable with. Scorpio moon sign is comfortable with close friends and family. It's comfortable with people that they feel one with. It's uncomfortable in an environment that feels foreign. So moon in Scorpio means the person needs to be hesitant and careful about relocating to a place where people seem to be having a different way of life, a different set of priorities. The moon sign needs to get into its element where it feels fully comfortable. If the person with moon in Scorpio loves mountains, live in the mountains. If they love the ocean, live near the ocean. Follow your instincts to the lifestyle that feels right for you. This may be true for everyone, but for Scorpio it's especially important because there's an emptiness, a hollowness that develops when moon in Scorpio does not feel that this is their tribe, this is their way, this is the world they were made to be in. It must find the environment that feels right. And when Venus is in Scorpio, the person is attracted to any form of beauty where the people have poured their heart and soul into it, where it's the love of the people. They do not like, well, let me put it this way, they're not attracted to art forms that are more light, based on their social attractiveness. They're more interested in something that comes from the person's personal life, something that's indigenous to the way people live, not something that's adapted to what's socially convenient, to what's marketable, to what will sell. They're more interested in something from the heart, more interested in the intensity, the personal nature of it, rather than whether it's regarded as being, quote, beautiful or not. So Venus in Scorpio is looking for that instinctive, deep, personal way of life. This is what draws them in. And Venus in Scorpio is attracted to people who know what they love and live in that world. So Scorpio focuses you in on a specific way of life. It's not eclectic, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's going deep. It's like digging a deep well and living deeply in that world. That's what it's made to do. Some people feel limited by Scorpio because it's so deeply focused. But in that deep focus, it gets riches that you cannot get by spreading yourself more thinly. There's advantages and disadvantages to everything. Well, that's Scorpio. I hope this gives you an idea of what you're dealing with if you're with a person with strong Scorpio, and what you need to do and what's going to work and what's not going to work. You can keep in mind you've gotten yourself in very deep with Scorpio. You've become a part of their lives. And you need to decide whether that's what you really want to do or not, because that's where you're headed with Scorpio. It's all or nothing. Okay, my friends, that's it. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for participating in this. God bless. Namaste.